The French language leaders debate wrapped up last night with four of the main federal party leaders outlining some of their policy priorities that do and don't include the U.S. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre said that on his first day in office, he would open negotiations with Mr. Trump on an agreement to put an end to the tariffs.
First of all, we will never be an American state. We will remain sovereign. On my first day as Prime Minister, I will restart negotiations to accelerate a deal that will put an end to the tariffs and protect our sovereignty. We can't control Trump, but at the same time, we have to control what we can control. We need to reverse liberal economic policies that have weakened our country. We need to unleash our resources, cut taxes, and bring jobs back home.
Liberal leader Mark Carney said Canada needs to plan for the worst-case scenario and to build a strong economy.
All right, well, first of all, in a crisis, you have to plan for the worst possible situation, and you have to have a plan to build a strong economy here in Canada. And we need to react with strength, and those are the elements that will allow us to succeed with Mr. Trump. He respects strength. He respects people who understand how the world works and who understand how the private sector works. And Canada needs to create other options, new, reliable partnerships around the world.
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh says Canadians need to invest rather than cut, while Bloc Québécois leader Guy-François Blanchet said Canada needs to align with countries also affected by the U.S. tariffs.
It's all about priorities. For me, now is the time to invest, not cut. It is the time to protect what we hold dear, our farmers, our culture, the French language. These things should not be sacrificed. It is time to defend who we are, what our values are. And we believe in helping one another. That's what we will do. How? We will strengthen our healthcare system. We will not let it be Americanized. That is crucial.
Trump will hang from his own noose because their economy is dependent on ours. But there will be a lot of harm done to Canada, to Europe, to Mexico before then. We have to realize that our joint GDP is bigger than the States. Our population is bigger than the States, and so retaliation is going to hurt the States, but we have to negotiate in a rational way, and we shouldn't fall to fear.
Mr. Carney was expected to be the main target during the debate, given his Liberals have been holding a steady lead in the polls. And after Mr. Carney made his pitch about why he would be the best to negotiate with Mr. Trump, Mr. Blanchet said that the Liberal leader, who has previously not held elected office, had little to no political experience.
There's a lot to unpack in there, let's be honest. And perhaps it's right. You say that you're an expert in managing a crisis, but you say you're a negotiator, but, well, perhaps negotiating with tax havens. But when it comes to trade agreements, I haven't seen the proof. We apparently have to believe you with no political experience. And so I find it's kind of funny because people say we have to unite and work together. On the one hand, you have never spoken to me before this evening. You're not trying to figure out how to collaborate between equals, Quebec, Canada, Mexico, European partners. You're trying to score divisive points that only serves the United States of America.
At various points in the debate, Mr. Poilievre pushed one of his main campaign messages, that the country shouldn't elect another Liberal government and that Mr. Carney doesn't represent enough change from the government of former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. During a conversation on the cost of living, Mr. Poilievre criticized Mr. Carney and the Liberal track record on housing.
Mr. Carney, you're repeating exactly the same promises that Justin Trudeau has been making for 10 years. During the Liberal decade, when you were the economic advisor, the cost of housing has gone up.
England,
and you inflated the cost of housing then, too. You have a terrible record in England for real estate costs there, real estate prices. The problem is that the Liberals want to build bureaucracy. They want to balloon bureaucracy by creating new departments, new bureaucrats. We don't need more bureaucrats. We need more more homes, more new doors on new homes for young families. The reason why housing has become so expensive today is because of taxes and bureaucracy. I will eliminate the GST on new homes. I will incentivize cities to free up land and accelerate permits so that we can build, and build your home.
Mr. Singh criticized Mr. Poilievre's record from when he briefly handled housing under Stephen Harper's government. Singh asked how many homes were built during that time, which sparked a heated argument between the two.
Let us talk records. Mr. Poilievre, you were a housing minister. How many homes did you build?
Over 200,000.
I'll tell you, 6. You built 6 homes.
200,000.
6.
200,000.
We cannot believe what
you
you're
asked
saying.
the question, can I answer it?
We cannot believe Mr. Poilievre. He only built 6 homes
200,000
when he was in power.
Can I answer?
We know the answer.
Can
it's
I
6.
answer?
The National Post's Rahim Mohamed joined us earlier today for an analysis on the debate.
So, I mean, the big story of the night was a thrilling 4-2 Montreal Canadiens victory over the Carolina Hurricanes, propelling them into the playoffs for the first time in several years. Not quite as much drama on the debate stage. I think Carney had a fine evening. I would say it's sort of like golf. Every candidate comes in with a handicap, and it's not necessarily your performance overall, but it's your performance relative to expectations. So sort of known going in, Carney's French is still very much a work in progress. It's not quite up to the French of the other 4 gentlemen. But in terms of what expectations were, I think particularly in terms of the example set by the French debate during the Liberal leadership race in January, which was a near disaster, Carney, I think played to his handicap or slightly above his handicap. There wasn't a moment like you'll remember there was a really embarrassing translation in the Liberal debate where Carney said, we agree with Hamas, not we all agree about Hamas. There was nothing like that, no sort of glaring headline, no sort of glaring embarrassment for Carney coming out of the debate. So I think Carney was probably quite nervous heading into Wednesday night. He more or less comes out of Wednesday night around where he was, with around the same momentum he had going into it. And I think he would take that 10 times out of 10. Mr. Poilievre, I think he had a good night. I think obviously he had much more polished French than Mr. Carney. I think there was. It's interesting to compare Poilievre in English and Poilievre in French. I think there's less of an edge when he's communicating in French. There's less of an abrasiveness. I think an issue, and I think particularly with voters in Quebec and other French-speaking parts of the country, is the authenticity. Is this the real Poilievre we're seeing? Is he putting on a performance for the camera? He still has some awkwardness with moments of humor, kind of trying to put on a smile. A lot of that feels at times like it can be forced, and I think that was something that came out with Mr. Poilievre. No huge gaffes for Pierre. I think one of his stronger moments was when he really took Carney to task for essentially, being involved with the Liberal government in different roles since 2020 and 2020. I believe the summer of 2020, he came on board to provide Justin Trudeau advice in dealing with the COVID pandemic and sort of rolling out CERB and other policies to protect Canadians during COVID. Mr. Carney said, I think in one of the weaker moments, that, hey, I just started as Prime Minister, and Poilievre was quite quick with the response. Actually, you've been involved with Liberal politics, and you've been advising the Liberal government at a very high level for the better part of the past 5 years. I think that was one of the stronger exchanges for Mr. Poilievre. Will it really move the needle? Is it a knockout blow? You kind of think back that Brian Maroney, you had a choice, sir, response to John Turner, or sort of Jack Layton and how he went after Michael Ignatieff at the 2011 English language debate. I don't think it was quite that magnitude, but it was an exchange that you're already seeing the conservative war room, kind of roll out clips and get some mileage out of that awkwardness on the part of Mr. Carney.